guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do the February unboxing for the MTB Bass Elite box. Before we get into this one, a little disclaimer, something I've forgotten to mention the whole time I've been doing this, and I apologize for it. I did kind of know this, a while back, kind of forgot about it until recently. These boxes, my box will probably be a little bit different than a box that you guys get. So not everything in this box will be the same, and sometimes the whole box might be different. What I found out, I contacted MTB about it. What they do is it's based on how long you've been a subscriber to the box, and because what they look at for that, what they look at for the length of your subscription is they don't want to try to send you duplicate boxes. Like I don't want to get this same box down the road. So they're doing their best to try to avoid that. So since I've been a subscriber for quite a while, my boxes might be a little bit different. It's not a special privilege or anything like that. It's just that they're just trying to mix things up for everybody, make so that way everybody doesn't get like the same baits over and over again. Now, with that said, there are going to be some boxes where you are going to get some baits, some of the same baits. So I think there's I think out of 1 year I've gotten the same bait probably about 3 or 4 times at most, or so I mean it happens. But so just be be cautious of that. I mean, not cautious, just be aware of it. And that what they'll do too is they'll try to send you a box to match the time of the year and your location. So my box might be different than someone, since I'm in North Dakota, my box might be different than someone who gets one down in Florida. And then maybe not, who knows. It's just kind of like, it's kind of all over the place, but their biggest thing is they try to mix it up so that way they don't send you guys the same baits over and over, or the same box setups over and over again. So all right, so I just wanted to jump in and give you guys a little bit of a clarification on that. It's something that I forgot about. I should have said it sooner, so apologize for that. But enough of that, let's get into this box. I did take a quick look at it. So I already got a little bit of an insight of what was in there. And first thing is going to start out with it. Now I'm not going to be able to, so like I said, I'm going to save all these boxes, and I'm going to do a slam on these boxes later on as soon as I get open water up here. So, but with that said, this one I'm not going to be able to do much with. I mean, obviously it's a rod sleeve, rod glove, rod sleeves. I do use these. It's very useful. This one is for a spinning rod setup. So it's got the wider opening here, so you can get over the bigger guides. That's pretty cool, because I have some for my spinning rods, but I don't have these for the spinning rods. I got the other ones where it's like a neoprene, not a neoprene, sorry, but they're just different. But these ones are cool. These things work really good. I use them all the time on my rods. I mean, no complaints here with these. So, I mean, we'll put this on a rod that we use for, as part of the slams. I mean, it'd be pretty easy, but yeah, I don't know. A lot of guys like these. A lot of guys hate them. Sometimes the guides will pop through this because it's kind of like a mesh. Sometimes the guides will pop through. I don't know. I don't use them off of my spinning rods, but we will definitely try this out on a full day. I will put it in the rod locker, and let it bounce around a little bit. And as we go through that day of fishing, of doing the slam, and we'll see how it performs. But I do like these. I just don't know how they perform personally on a spinning rod for me. But I do hear good things. Okay, next thing in the box, we got more. We got hooks, stickies, 3/0 EWG hooks. Not a whole lot to say about these. I mean, if you've seen my, so this is one of the items that you're gonna get quite a bit in your boxes. That you're gonna get more than one box, and that's okay, because what they want to do, I don't know if this is what they're wanting to do, but the way I see it is they're linking you know, these hooks up with baits in the box, and we'll get to the next bait in the box. I'll do that, what I'm going to throw this on, or throw on these hooks. We'll get to that in a minute. But these hooks, I mean, they're sharp and they work. I've used them in previous videos, previous slams. No complaints here. So these are good hooks. So the bait that it kind of complements is, so we got the Culprit 7.5-inch ribbon tail worm. This one's green pumpkin red mist. It's abbreviated, so I don't really know. I'm not familiar with Culprit's colors, but this looks like a really tasty worm. It's got like a green pumpkin. Of course, it's part of the name, right? You got the green pumpkin, and then a little bit of a red in the tail, or a little bit of a red tint right there. You can see a little bit there. So I mean, this is a really good natural color style bait. This thing's gonna get bit pretty much anywhere you throw it. Honestly, the way I would throw it is on a Texas rig with a 1/4 ounce weight, and probably I would personally throw a 4/0 hook on this one, but a 3/0 EWG will still work just fine on this. So don't, you know, if you don't have a 4/0, a 3/0 will work just fine. But I really do like, actually on worms, the actual worm hooks, just because it's a little bit less of a, it's not as much of a bend opening, or a bend. So it's a little bit more narrow. It gets through cover a little bit better. I really do like these styles of worms, and like I said, I'll put them on a Texas rig mainly. A lot of times it's pretty much all you're going to do with worms. You can probably put it on a drop shot if you want. You can wacky rig it, and Nico rig, whatever you want to do, I guess. I'm not sure how that would work with the ribbon tail. It might be some unique little action that they might want to go for. Who knows? It might get that extra bite or that big bite. But personally, what I'm going to do is a Texas rig with 1/4 ounce weight pegged. You can unpeg it. I personally like it pegged. I don't like that sliding up and down, so I'll do a peg, and I'm going to drag it through all kinds of weed cover. Be cautious of your line size. So in heavier cover, you want heavier line. And if I'm going to do that, I'm going to go black braided line, probably about 50-pound braided line. If I'm going to go around docks or stuff where I'm not going to be around a lot of heavy cover or deeper weed edges, I'm going to do probably about 14-15-pound fluorocarbon line, maybe 17, but 17 is hard to throw a 1/4 ounce weight on there. So I'll probably stick with around 15. But if you want to, try 17. The advantage to that is if they take you down in any of the weed cover, or they surprise you and pull you into any kind of heavy cover, you got a better chance of getting that fish out and not losing that fish. So Culprit's been, I've heard good things about Culprit baits. I've used a couple of their baits. I haven't used this worm yet, so I'm really curious about how this is going to work in the slam, and I'm excited for it. So hopefully we can, time will fly by really fast and we can get to it. But all right, so the next thing out of the box, the Heddon Super Spook Boyo. So I don't throw Heddon's baits very often, but I mean a lot of guys do, and they just get crushed. They get a lot of bites, a lot of big bites. So why don't I throw them? I usually throw the Rapala Skitter V. That's confidence for me, so I have no reason to change it if it's working, right? So, but I mean, this bait looks pretty sweet. It's smaller profile, and I feel like this is going to be a really good smallmouth bait too, because it's a little bit smaller profile, and the shape of it, this thing looks pretty good. The color, I'm not sure what the color is. Kind of looks like a baby bass type color. It's called Florida bass. It's a little bit golden color. So, you know, I hear in Florida, topwater gold is the way to go. So this would be great for anybody traveling down to Florida. It's yeah, pretty much gold all the way around. A little bit darker on the top of the bait. It looks pretty sweet. And you know, with this one, it looks like it's actually got some pretty good hooks on it. But I probably still wouldn't throw it on really heavy line. I'd still do the typical, for me, my typical top water. Maybe I do probably about a 20 to 30 pound braided line to probably a, I don't know, 15 to 17 pound monofilament leader. Probably a short one from my experience lately with the monofilament, just trying to keep that knot down by the bait. I will probably throw a short one. You can throw a longer leader, throw as long as you want. And depending on the water clarity too. So forgive me about that. Depending on the water clarity and how long you let the bait sit, you don't want a braided line to sit too close to the bait. Fish can see that, sense it, and depending on how clear the water is, you might lose some bites by doing that. So play it by ear. Water clarity, if it's really, really clear, then do a bit longer. I mean, you can probably get away with a 4-foot leader. But I mean, for me, if I'm gonna do a 4-foot leader, I'm probably gonna do a little bit longer, so that way I have room to tie on more if I need to, or like if I can retie more times before having to tie on a new leader. But this bait, I'm gonna throw. You can throw this in pretty much anywhere. Honestly, throw it to your heart's content. Over weeds, preferably, if you got it, not where the weeds are growing out, right? You want a little bit below the surface, so you want the subsurface weed edge. So you want to be above it, and because you try not to get it stuck in the weeds. Although when they come up and hit it, they are going to go back down. So be cautious about that. But I will throw this around weed edges, docks, down points, anywhere, and wherever you see any fish suspending too. If you see fish suspending, or if you see them moving up or down the water column and they're chasing bait or whatever, especially early in the morning, throw this out there and just watch them. And if you got Livescope, you can watch them. But if you don't, just take it by feel. Obviously you're going to tell, but if they crush the bait or not. So those are the places I'm going to be throwing this. It's a lot of times they'll be throwing it with the bait like this. You want to watch the ripples on the top of the water. I have caught fish in I won't say like rough water, but in conditions where the top surface is rippled quite a bit, and where it's actually consistent, pretty wavy, not rough for the boat, but really ripply, and you wouldn't think top water bait would catch any fish on it, but they do still see it. Top water is considered an edge, so how you think about a weed edge is an edge for bass to ambush. The top of the water, the surface of the water, is the same thing, different, right? It's above, it's still an edge, but it's an ambush point for them. They see it, so that's one thing to consider too. So with these baits, but yeah, I mean, throw it. You can try it in water that's a little bit more rougher on the top, a little bit more ripply. But typically, I'm going to try and throw this in calmer situations, because it's where it's going to excel a bit more, and you're going to be able to pull fish from a little bit further away too. So, nice looking bait. I'm actually pretty excited to give this a shot. I will probably throw this on. I will try it on my regular top water, my rod and my bait caster. But if they get too light, don't be afraid to go to a spinning rod setup, because you can cast a little bit further and you probably won't backlash as much. And you'll probably see how much I backlash on light baits when throwing this too when the time comes. So, nice little bait by Heddon. Next bait out of the box. We got Googan Squad. The buzzbait hammer, black. Yeah, this thing's pretty good. I mean, half ounce. I mean, buzzbaits all around, they're gonna catch fish. I love the color black. Black is the first one I pick up whenever I go to a lake. Confidence color, and I don't know, I just do well with it. Every once in a while, if I see them, come up and hit the black and they miss, or it doesn't seem like they're really, going after it, then I'll switch to white. And if it seems like a little bit better, then I will, maybe try a slightly different color. But I'm typically gonna go either black or white, to be honest with you. So, buzzbait, hard to beat. Throw in the morning around wood, docks, weed edges, down points and stuff. I mean, this thing can get thrown anywhere. Have fun with it. And I'm typically going to throw it on a 40-pound braided line. Why so heavy? Well, sometimes it's, you know, you want to get those fish out of there, and wide braided line, I'm gonna throw in black braided line too. For me, I have confidence in black braided line. I feel like they can't see it as well in the water, and I still get a lot of bites anyways. I feel like I get more bites that way. You know, it's personal preference, so, you know, play, you know, take it with a grain of salt, and you know, just have fun with it. But buzzbaits, I have a lot of good success with buzzbaits around docks, so, you know, give that a shot. And I will typically throw on a trailer there, so when they bite it, it feels like they got some meat to hang on to it, and typically I feel like they hang on a little bit longer. So, you know, a good solid bait out of the box. Just keep it going with Googan Squad. Another thing with these boxes, okay, so you are gonna get some, you know, for some of you that aren't a big fan of Googan baits, Googan Squad, just understand that you probably will get one, if not two, Googan Squad baits in almost every box. And sometimes you might not get any. I mean, that's happened to me too. So just be aware, you know, just give you guys a little heads up about that. So on to the next bait. This is Bandito Bug Junior, and this is Okeechobee Craw. This is their 3.3, so this is a smaller version of it. And this thing, I love the color Okeechobee Craw. I do very well with it in just about any water situation. And I don't know what it is, like even dirty water too. It's more of a natural color, so you feel. So it seems like a clear water clear water systems. This would excel better in, and it still does. It really does, but it still excels just as well in dirtier water. Thing is, you got to throw it closer to cover, because dirty water fish want to tuck in closer to the cover. So you are going to throw it near dirty, you know, closer to cover. So it seems like to me that they still do see it. You just got to throw a little bit closer to them. That's all. But this thing still gets bit, and it's a natural color. I love throwing this thing on, you know, this is a 3.3, so I don't throw the 3.3 as often as I do the 4-inch. But what I would still do is throw it on a small Texas rig and throw it around the docks, because you can still get some really good bites. I got smallmouth. I've caught a lot of smallmouth on this size. So when I'm fishing for smallmouth, I am throwing, or when I'm fishing with these for smallmouth, I am throwing the 3.3. And it just, I don't know, I have a lot of success with the Bandito bugs, both the 3.3 and the 4-inch. And it just gets bit for me. Yes, you do go through a few of them. So take that, you know, there's a heads up, you do go through a few of them. But for me, that's okay, because I see the action. I like the way the action is, and if they change the formula, it changes the action and it changes the scent. I like the scent, I like the action, so I'm willing to go through a few more just to get a few more bites. And I've actually gone through five fish with one of these before on a jig, and it's hard to do that on a jig because you're ripping and pulling them fish right out of heavy cover. So I mean, sometimes you can get, you know, quite a few fish off of these, and sometimes you only get one. So anyways, love this bait here. You know, you can Texas rig it, drop shot it, Ned rig it, whatever you want. It's small enough, and you can pretty much throw it just about anywhere. Love it. Oops. Okay, next bait. Get a little wrapper off of there. So we got, this is by Ducket. This is a BD12 crankbait. I'm not familiar with Ducket. This is a green gizzard shad. Doesn't look much green to me, but the fact that it's white, I'm okay with. I like that because I catch a lot of fish with white crankbaits and, you know, big white swim baits, like some of the big glide baits that I have, and some of the big soft plastic baits that I have too. So I mean, why not on a crankbait? And this thing, it dives is 12 feet because it's just BD12. Dives depth range 11 to 13. So yeah, dives about 12 feet. This thing looks like a pretty good little crankbait that's going to get bit. A lot of these crankbaits I'm going to throw along deeper weed edges, down tapering points, and you can also throw it in shallow, rocky areas. When I say shallow, I'm talking about like 5-6 feet at the deepest, or I mean at the shallowest, because it dives, you know, 11 to 13 feet. You're going to be pegging the bottom, and the reason why I would throw it a little bit shallower is because I can slow roll this. I can reel it slow, and it's gonna is going to peg into those rocks, and that's what I want. But it's like a slow motion. Sometimes they don't want it super fast. They do want it super fast, and you want to throw a little bit more shallower diving crankbait, because then you can throw it faster and you can peg off the rocks and then bounce around a little bit faster. But there are situations where this has caught me a lot of fish in some shallower, rocky situations where I could just slow roll it and it pegs it, because sometimes they just see it slow going through there. They're kind of curious. They're not really sure what it is. You know, like, does it look real? Does it look fake? Kind of looks fake, and then they see it hit against a rock and it bounces, and it kind of makes them react a little bit. So, I mean, I've seen it on Livescope. I don't know if that's exactly what they're doing, but that's just kind of the sense that I get from when I throw a bait like this for them, for the fish in that depth of water in and around rocks. So yeah, looks like a good little bait. Looks like it'll get bit, and we'll find out too. So we'll have to make sure we're around some deeper water when I do this. I will probably pick a lake that has some deeper water, maybe some deeper weed edges, or maybe I'll just go to a brand new lake and just, you know, like I've done in the past, go to a brand new lake and try and challenge myself with it. I mean, that was fun too. Little bit difficult at times, but hey, that's okay. That's all part of the fun. All right, next bait out of the box here. It's jerkbait by Team Arc, and this one is called. It's a suspending jerkbait, but I don't know what it's called here. So I looked at this box, but I didn't look at it real close. So I just peeked in real quick. It's the J110 SP 62. The color is matte shad. I really do like this color. You see that color? So it's they call it a matte shad. So what it is, it's kind of like a Rapala has some of these too. It's more like it's like a frosted type color, and it's like so it's translucent, but it's not. It looks translucent, but it's still got a little bit of it's like sanding to it. You know, it's got like a little frost to it. So not quite translucent, but not quite solid color all the way, so you can't see all the way through. But I see these have worked. I do like these a lot for not like super clear water. They will work in super clear water, and they'll work in dirty water. But I've had a lot of success with these, like in between, like that tannic colored water where it's like a kind of like a golden orange color. That's where I really like throwing this color, this style of finish. Sorry, this kind of a finish of a bait, and where it's got like that frost. So this looks like a deeper diving bait too. It says it here. No, it doesn't say it. But if I had to guess, I don't really want to guess. I don't know. Maybe I might be blind, but it's deeper south. So it looks like it's probably about a 4 to 8 foot, depth jerkbait, and I'm probably wrong, but that the bill just kind of makes me feel like it's a 4 to 8 foot. I have some Rapalas that have a similar bill, and that's kind of what they are. So that's what I'm going with. This bait, I really like it for points, weed edges, top of reeds. Bang it off of rocks, boulders and stuff that that are off by themselves, not like in a rock field. So solo boulders, bang it off of there, off of points, and sometimes that elicits that reaction strike. So that's another good little bait here. I love this, and you're not limited to just that. I mean, throw it around docks too if they got some deeper water, and it's just jerkbait is super versatile. You can almost throw it anywhere. You just gotta be careful what weed cover or what kind of cover is nearby. Are you gonna get hung up? And whatnot. So good bait there. Like it. And we got a small decal this time. We got a small MTB bass. Gonna have to get them right. Anyways, yeah, it's still a pretty cool little looking decal. It's got a little bill on it, but yeah. So there it is, guys. That's the February Bass Elite box for mystery tackle box, and this unboxing, I mean, not bad. Probably not one of the better boxes, but hasn't been one of my worst boxes either. So I'm still excited to get out there and try some of these baits. They still look pretty tasty, you know, like they're gonna catch some good fish. So I'm pretty excited for that. And I know I've got 2 boxes sitting over there already. There's gonna make 3. We're probably gonna have a total of 5 or 6. February, March, April. Yeah, we'll have probably about 6 by the time I get out on the water. But hey, that's all right. Now, if you stuck around with this, thank you. A lot of you guys who are watching haven't subscribed to my channel. If you have, or if you do like the content and if you like what you're watching, you know, please support me. Subscribe to the channel and support the channel. And I mean, I really love doing this stuff. So I mean, if you like it, you know, subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for some more content. I'm going to try and, you know, ramp it up this season. I'm going to try and do a lot more stuff. So we'll see what happens. Sometimes things don't turn out the way I want them to, and that's okay. It's part of life. But guys, thanks again for sticking around for this. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you in the next video.